Hello there. Welcome to this channel, where we will be reviewing the movie stories. Today we will see about the movie named The Condemned. Please watch the movie, and have fun. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The movie starts in a prison, where two individuals get to the security guard with a video camera, and meet the warden. He shows them a man in solitary confinement, and forcefully pushes 3 other convicts inside to fight him. The man fights the others, knowing it's a death match, while the individuals above record the brutal fight. Breckle, a wealthy television producer, watches the live video recording of the fight, and wants to buy him. The camera guys in the prison give him a bribe and transport the man who killed the others. Breckle plans to run a show on the internet, broadcasting fights between convicts and making money from it. Bella works on the advertisement. Eddie handles the show's internet broadcasting and traffic tracking. Goldman, Breckle's friend and an expert technician, sets up cameras all over the island, where they are staying. He tells Breckle that the cameras are in place, but there are still many blind spots he has not covered before starting the show. Goldman keeps complaining about hardware shortages and not being able to complete at 100%, but Breckle praises him as the best, and asks him to improvise. Julie, Breck's girlfriend, informs him that he has caught the attention of the biggest reporter, who is waiting for an interview related to the show he is planning to start shortly. She questions how he is going to broadcast the show without any major network channels behind him. Breck explains that the internet is the new way for broadcasting, and describes the show where 10 convicts from around the world, sentenced to death, will be made to fight in a survival contest, with the last survivor gaining freedom. She expresses concerns about the show being illegal and immoral, as people's lives are being put at risk for entertainment. Breck dismisses the moral objections. Eddie and Bella approach Breck to inform him about a hiccup in the plan, as one of the contestants, an Arab, was shot on the mainland before reaching the island. Bella starts looking for an alternative to replace the deceased contestant. Eddie brings up a potential candidate, an Islamic fundamentalist in a Salvadorian prison, and the warden is willing to release him for money. Breck gives the green light to get him. Warden also gets 3 other men to send to the guy the crew came for, so that they can record the fight and show it to Breck for confirmation before getting the convict transferred. One of the guys they bring in to be bait for the killer is Conrad, who awaits execution in that corrupt Salvadorian prison. They are pushed as before into the killer's room and left unarmed for them to fight. The chained guy kills one of the guys, and the warden pushes Jack Conrad to fight him by freeing the chained guy. When he gets near, Jack knocks him with a single blow, and asks if he can leave now coolly. Breck, watching this, gets interested in Jack, and asks the crew to get him on the plane to the island. Breck meets all the convicts, Petter, Creston, and McStarley, Yasantua, and informs them that they have to fight to live, and only one of them can stay alive in the end. Jack refuses to play games, but Breck rigs up his rap sheet with all the nasty cases, and forces him to play to stay alive. He also meets other convicts, Saiga, the German, and the lovers, Paco and Rosa. Baxter, the thug working for Breck, informs about the plastic explosives rigged to all the convicts' legs, which will go boom if they try to tamper with it, or if the pin is pulled before the deadline. All the convicts have to do is to be the one alive on the island before the 30 hours deadline, else it will explode, and they will be dead. He then arms the explosives and takes them in the helicopter. Jack takes a look from the helio, a small camp, and observes the meters in the helio to guess where they are being taken away. The crew gives the cuff keys to each of the convicts and pushes them into remote areas on the island. While Jack refuses to get the keys and hits the guard, he pushes him out without the keys to the cuff. Each of them uncuffs themselves with the keys and gets to the shore, where they are dropped remotely on the island. Yasantua gets to the shore and sees a camera rig moving over the wire, where suddenly the German gets to her. He starts hitting her, while the crew from the camp starts broadcasting live on the internet. While the German tries to rape her, she fights back, while getting strangled up. She pierces him with a broken wood piece, and removes the tag from his leg, which triggers the countdown for the explosives. She kicks him in the balls and runs, while the German gets exploded and killed. The crew at the camp is excited about this, and Eddie tracks that 5 million people have logged in to the site to view this. Breck explains that he is expecting to hit 40 million, and be the most viewed show on the internet. Paco, accidentally gets into a fight with Jack, but then subsides that he just wants to find his wife. Jack leaves him as it is, and as gratitude, he gives the key he had for his cuffs to Jack. At another location, Creston sees that there is a package dropped and finds a knife, while Saiga gets to the same spot for the package. They start fighting for the weapons from the package, while Creston manages to escape from him. While Saiga chases him, he finds McStarley, and they start to engage in a fight. But McStarley proposes an alliance until all other parties are eliminated. In another place, Petter gets crossed with Jack. Jack warns him that if he stays away, they don't have a problem, but Petter starts attacking him. The crew starts broadcasting the fight live, and it increases the online view to more than 10 million. Petter tries to pull the trigger from Jack's leg, but then they roll off towards the cliff, where accidentally Petter's trigger gets pulled off from his leg, and Jack pushes him from the cliff, where he gets blown off. At the FBI headquarters, in the Crimes Task Force Division, they view the online streaming of the fight, and inform Interpol about the matter. Also, Special Agent Wilkins informs that they might be on one of the 2,000 tiny islands around Indonesia, and 2 of the criminals in the streaming were Americans. He was able to find details about one member, but he couldn't find anything about Jack, as if he didn't exist. Outside, one of the officers informs that they got some information that Jack's original name is Jack Riley, and he was a U.S. Army retired guy. There are no relatives, but he had an ex-wife, Sarah, and 2 kids, and none other than them. Wilkins calls Sarah and checks about Jack. She leaves for the bar, where she works, and finds the online streaming site to see Jack. When she sees the profile saying that Jack is a terrorist, she knows that it's all lies, and they try to stream the video. Meanwhile, on the island, Rosa finds Paco, and while they find themselves together, McStarley finds them, and starts fighting. During the fight, Saiga captures Rosa. Being distracted, McStarley breaks his knee and ties him up. McStarley and Saiga try to enjoy her, while the crew still keeps streaming it live, even though they are morally disturbed. Julie voices out to stop this streaming of perverted action, but Breck doesn't accept that. McStarley ruins her, and pulls off the trigger from her, leaving her killed, while Paco escapes from being tied off. Jack finds him in the jungle, and Paco is hurting in pain that he lost his wife and couldn't do anything about it. He asks for Jack's help to kill them, but Jack assures that he will help him to be alive, then fighting this game. Creston finds Yasantua, and tries to get her with him, so they can tag along fighting others. Paco asks Jack to kill McStarley for him, but Jack tells him that he has something else to do, as he saw a watchtower, and could radio out to his ex-wife. Breck asks one of his men to drop a Christmas bag to McStarley and send them to other people's places, rigging the game in favor of McStarley. Jack finds one of the old broken stuff from the ruins, and places a lead plate around the bomb, to cover up the GPS tracker, so the crew can't track him on the island. Jack gives Paco some water and a knife for self-protection, and leaves the place, finding a cable towards the watchtower. Goldie sees this on the camera, and they are clueless about where Jack is going. In the FBI HQ, Wilkins was asked to drop the investigation on Jack, since there have been pushbacks from the Pentagon, when he started digging into Jack's profile. Wade Maranto, DI agent, informs that Jack was known to their organization for working on Black Ops after serving 14 years for the government, and is highly dangerous, having killed more men than all the people combined on that island. He further explains how Jack was caught during the exfil, where he eliminated a drug cartel in Central America. Wilkins walks off, disappointed. Goldie gets nervous as he finds that he can't track Jack, and he is moving towards the camp, since there were no cameras rigged near the crew's site. Breck sends his thug to find Jack and capture him, but Jack is already at the campsite, getting to the watchtower, and he tries to reach Sarah. He gives her his account number, just in case, if he doesn't make it out alive, and wants her to know that he still loves her and didn't walk out on her. Meanwhile, the patrol finds that the tower has been breached, calling for more men. Jack gives the location details, just before Breck cuts off the generator, and Sarah hears half of it. Wilkins gets the location details from Sarah, and gives it to Wade, urging him to at least save Jack, as he has been in prison, without giving up U.S. country secrets for more than a year. At a ruined site, Creston and Yasantua start talking about escaping, and she starts to put him in the mood, while discreetly removing the bomb pin, and leaving him to be blown off. Goldie sees that on the campsite camera, and changes it to another camera, where they find Paco, being tortured by McStarley and Saiga. Julie and Goldie realize that, even though they are friends of Breck and accepted this at the start, they try to talk to him, to stop this. But Breck is greedy, and forces Goldie to get back to work, leaving her stranded. McStarley tortures Paco, and kills him with a bow, followed by burning him down. Jack gets furious, and decides to take them down. He prepares himself, with an iron rod from the ruins, and tapes it to his body. He stealthily gets to Saiga, and fights him, knocking him out before McStarley starts shooting arrows at him. Jack gets into an old bunker and hides, where Ysantwa confronts him. While he tries to calm her down, McStarley hits her with an arrow, injuring her back. Breck instructs the crew to get the footage inside the bunker. Saiga throws a Molotov cocktail into the bunker, where there are old unblown tanker ammunitions. Jack tries to save Ysantwa, but she pulls the trigger from her leg as a suicide attempt, and Jack escapes from there, in a near-miss way. Since McStarley and Saiga are left with each other, they start attacking each other, fighting for their lives. Suddenly, Jack gets to Saiga and starts punching him out, while McStarley arrives at the scene, and all three get into a fight. People from the campsite, the bar, and the FBI HQ are watching the streaming, and are surprised to see Jack back alive. McStarley and Saiga once again join forces to fight Jack, but then, Jack manages to knock Saiga out for good. McStarley escapes the place, and jumps off a canyon. Jack also follows him, and jumps off. Breck identifies the place, and sends out a weapons bag to support McStarley, making the streaming more interesting. He starts shooting at Jack, and while chasing him down, he finds camera guys dressed in camouflage with cameras, and maniacally kills them as well. Finally, McStarley gets to Jack and injures him, as well as pushes him into the water, seemingly killing Jack. Breck gives an interview and, when questioned about the moral impact of the show, he emphasizes that he only created the show, but it's the people who made it successful. Wade gets back to Wilkins, stating that Navy SEALs are deployed, and will be on the island in an hour to retrieve Jack, unknowingly that everybody now thinks that he was killed moments ago. Breck gets informed that the U.S. Navy has found them, and he might be in trouble. He tries to get off the island silently, but Goldie tags along with him, threatening to tell everyone about the news. Breck orders his thug to take care of him, and Goldie gets killed, despite being his best friend. Breck backs off the amount from McStarley, just letting him be free to go. While he starts getting his things from the camp to leave for the chopper, McStarley manages to kill his guards and sneak into the camp tent. He starts killing people inside the tent, giving the crews a taste of the reality of the show. Jack manages to survive and reaches the campsite, where Breck and his thug confront him. Jack kills the thug, but Breck escapes, while hearing the shooting inside the tent. Before he kills Julie, Jack gets into the tent and traps McStarley, killing him off. Breck reaches the chopper, and tries to leave the island, before getting caught by Jack or the Navy SEALs. Jack chases and shoots the chopper, almost in vain as Breck is getting away. Julie gives him the ankle bomb, triggered to Jack, which he then throws at Breck in the chopper. Unable to evade it, Breck gets blown off the chopper and dies, leaving Julie and Jack as the only survivors on the island. He then travels back to where Sarah lives, surprising her that he's back home. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe for more. Your support means a lot and helps us continue creating content. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.